Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CanadianGameDevs.com podcast, episode number 168. We're a week away from the big one, Steve. This is the podcast for the week of December 7th for patrons and December 9th for everyone else. It's a weekly show covering all the games made in Canada and the people who create them. My name is Steven. It's spelled with a PH and an A, so you'd think it's Stefan, but it's not. It's Steven. And joining me, the other main dude behind CanadianGameDevs.com, Steven, spelled with a PH and an E, but we say Steve. Steven and Steve, and it's not confusing for anyone.
Yo, what up?
CanadianGameDevs.com is, of course, supported by our amazing patrons over at patreon.com/CanadianGameDevs. Back us there for Discord perks, 2-day early access to the show, game key giveaways, discounts for Canadian gaming events, shoutouts at the end of every episode, and at the highest tier, we'll plug your work at the beginning of every episode, like our top tier supporter, Eric Beer. If you're interested in seeing Eric's work and learning what they do and how they could maybe work with you, Steve, or someone else who would be more likely to work with Eric. You can head on over to thebotbook.com. That's thebotbook.com to see their work and, yeah, check out all the stuff they're doing and more. Thank you for your support, Eric. And, yeah, all of that to say, back us on Patreon for more stuff like that. How you doing, Steve?
Doing pretty good.
Excellent.
It was Heather's birthday today, so.
Oh, happy birthday, Heather.
Yeah.
The unofficial third, official actually third, right? Because they're on the paperwork.
Yeah, she's more official than me, bro.
More, yeah, that's true. We're getting me on the paperwork. Shout out to our man, Mr. Elliot Cheeseman, helping us out. At the top of the show, I want to plug again all the Indigenous supports you can contribute to help the First Nations on this land push back against the police state that is trampling their treaty rights. Land Back Lane in Ontario is looking for help funding their legal fight against the property development being jammed across their land. With the Wet'suwet'en in British Columbia have a GoFundMe kit and other ways to support them up on their website. Out in BC, our environmentally conscious Prime Minister bought a giant pipeline to ship crude oil across their territory. No good, Mr. Prime Minister. So you can help them fight for the land they legally, by the treaty we signed and ignored, have the right to. And the Micmac out here in Nova Scotia are trying to exercise their treaty rights to draw a moderate livelihood from fishing on their territory. And they're having all their shit burned down by white people. C'est la vie. If you want to help them out, all of the links are in the show notes. Please consider supporting. And of course, watch the Indigenous Devs YouTube video, which showcases work from Indigenous game developers all across the world, including friends of the show like Megan Byrne. That's also at the top of the show notes. And Steve, we have the final total for our Extra Life stream after giving all the November patron money to the goal. I'm a little tired. Sorry, I'm just slow today. After tax. No, not after tax. After everything, $1,011.03 US for the IWK Foundation in Halifax and Sick Kids in Toronto. What's that in Canadian? I should have done that conversion. We're a Canadian show. To
Like $1,500?
It's got to be a lot because our dollar's garbage.
I think our dollar is doing pretty good lately, though.
All right. It is $12.93 Canadian. Oh, that's a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
$1 Canadian is worth 78 US cents.
Looking at my little stock app, it's gone up in the last month or so. So
I don't know what would be affecting the US dollar so negatively. Who can say?
Who knows? Magic.
So yeah, and also at the top of the show, I want to plug. We just did an interview with game dev superwoman Jean Leggett and longtime patron. It's up now on the podcast feed and YouTube, and I'll put that at the top of the show notes as well. It was a really great conversation. I enjoyed it. Steve, how about you?
I should listen to it again because because we recorded it a couple of weeks ago. But Jean's a great person. I always enjoy talking to her and stuff like that. So.
There were so many people retweeting, like, Gene's good people, listen to the interview. So thanks to everyone who retweeted the interview when I posted it.
Nice.
Good work, Steve. Let's talk about some jobs. We got some careers we would like to help people land at the Canadian Game Dev Studios, such as Canuck Play in Peterborough, Ontario. They're looking for a senior Unity game developer, and 3D modeler of static objects, of course, hot off the heels Doug Flitty's Maximum Football 2020 on PS4 and Xbox One, coming soon to next gen. Current gen, we did this last time I read this ad. Oh man, last gen, it's out on last gen, coming to current gen, I guess is how you would say it.
I would think so.
They want you to be at their Peterborough studio, if at all possible. And they are also working on a hot new intellectual property. So if you want to get on the ground floor of something probably pretty cool, you should check that out. Stormy Shore Game Studio in Paradise, Newfoundland is looking for a designer to join them. They're open to remote work as well. Game designer, check that out. Hardsuit Labs in Seattle, Washington is looking for a lead game designer who can support remote work as well as the visa for the right candidate. Although you probably don't want to go to the US anytime soon, so maybe take that remote work option. And Sleeping Giants in Toronto is looking for a character animator rigger. If you are any of those roles, check out the jobs on our site at canadiangamedevs.com/jobs. Also, in the show notes. News, Steve. We've got several news stories to go through today. It's a bit of a less week. Our last 2 episodes, we were covering 2 weeks worth of news, so it makes sense there'd be less this week.
Also, there was actually, I guess this doesn't matter, but it was Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
in the States.
American Thanksgiving, and although fake Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and although we're Canadian game devs, I feel like you still don't really want to announce stuff like last week when 80% of the like continent is getting drunk and eating turkey and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And coughing all over each other.
Yeah, as one does.
As one does at Thanksgiving. First bit of news, Habroxia 2 from Toronto-based Lilymo Games is getting a physical release on PlayStation 4. Guelph-based?
I think so. I don't think they're Toronto. I don't think he's Toronto. I think he's...
Isn't it Toronto?
I think he's more middle or...
Is it a single developer?
Yeah, I think it's one dude. Lilymo Games, Guelph, Ontario.
Oh, how about that? That's really close to me.
So it's one guy, but I guess he's had like contractors and stuff to
Barry
do some
Johnson, studio founder,
and then like Colin, PlayStation fame or whatever, is like now co-owns the studio with him.
Huh? It's a small world, Steve.
It is.
Habroxia 2 coming to play Vita, PS4. You're a big fan of Habroxia 1, correct?
Yeah, I like Habroxia more than Twin Breakers.
Oh, you didn't have to say it like that, but yeah,
I enjoyed Twin Breakers, but I'm glad that they go the Habroxia 2 route than the Twin Breaker 2 route is what I'm trying to get
at. That'll be coming out pre-orders for the physical copy are live now through January 1st, and the game's trophies are already up despite coming out next year.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is weird.
I guess they're the trophy people, so check that out if you like. How would you describe it? Classic arcade screen scrolling shooter?
Yeah,
maybe?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's not the crate because it's the type of shooter shmup that I enjoy, where it's not like crazy stuff. It's more just retro and throwback to like the classic NES style. So
nice. I'm
looking forward to this one for sure.
Underdog story today, Steve. Grindstone is getting a new update. The game, I think it's safe to say, the most robbed game in Game Awards history. Grindstone from Toronto-based Capybara Games getting a big content update live now. You should give it a download. It's on Apple Arcade. It's on Nintendo Switch. It's everywhere. It's amazing. And this new update is lore heavy, so they're building out the world and adding new stores and characters. Yeah. Cappy's had an interesting year. Their studio founder left for new adventures.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Nathan Valla, I think, is at Annapurna now, the publisher of like Wadham and Kentucky Route Zero and stuff. As with all good Canadian talent, eventually just goes to the States to make real money. So you can check out this new update now. I would get it on... I haven't played on Switch yet, but I assume it's just awesome on Switch with the touchscreen. Because that's how you play it.
I've actually been playing Grindstone a little bit.
Ooh, what do you think, Steve? Mobile Game of the Year 2019.
Level 10 or 11, so I'm not very far, but like this is like my 3rd or 4th attempt trying to play it, and I got over the hump. I don't know what it was, but now I'm actually like very much enjoying it. So I'm not going to hit up this new I want to complete the like main story or whatever it is. But then there's also like a daily challenges and stuff like that.
Yeah, they added a daily a couple months ago.
So I'm enjoying though. I think I finally get it. I think I was like, before I was like, if you couldn't get like a big combo or whatever, then it felt like you were like losing. But it's not. That doesn't really matter because it's all about your position and just killing the little ones until you can kind of get like a big combo.
Yes, you're setting up the big run.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you get the stones.
Yeah.
The new update is called the Slop House. Slop and house, both O's have the 2 dots about it. I love that. You know the 2 dots.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what it does. Also, currently there's an event called Krampus Time. The festival spirit has come to Grindstone Mountain. Gladys the thief is moonlighting as Krampus. Defeat Gladys. Oh, that's the thief character that steals your grindstones in every level. So if you beat him, well, they have the Krampus outfit on. You get it for George, your main guy. Grindstone's good. It's underrated. Call of Duty Mobile should feel ashamed. They took an award from it. Check it out. I should get it on Switch again.
Sekiro beat out Resident Evil 2 for Game of the Year in 2019. So just,
Yeah, another robbed one.
Another robbed one. Another robbed. Although I didn't play Sekiro, so.
I was really surprised Sekiro won.
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm like, I know Resident Evil 2 didn't win. I wonder what it beat it. But yeah, Sekiro, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Smash Brothers Ultimate, and the Outer Worlds.
Oh, Outer Worlds. Not Outer Wilds?
No, Outer Worlds.
Outer Wilds didn't win anything? Outer Wilds won big at the IGF Awards.
You know what? Because we were talking last week about how
Game Awards suck
stuff, and how like Death Stranding didn't win Game of the Year. It was nominated for 10 games though, or 10 awards. So.
Yeah. No, we went over this last week. Check out episode 167 for my rant on why the Game Awards. I only am so critical of the Game Awards because Joff's pushing so hard, like it's the Oscars of video games, when it's clearly not. And that's like, if they were like, yeah, we're just a little E3 with an award show, I'd be like, oh, cool. But they're trying to pretend to be something else, and that's what. No, you're not. Yeah, Grindstone should have been nominated. Call of Duty Mobile's nominated again this year, so why couldn't Grindstone be nominated?
I know. Yeah, okay, listen.
Doesn't make any sense.
Let's move on.
New game, which is a game we've talked about before. You might remember Rogue Souls, which is a game we covered on the news and Wishlist This in the past from Tiny Titan Games in London, Ontario, has been rebranded as Ember Knights, the 1 to 4 player dungeon crawling roguelite with a T. They've got a whole new Steam page with new key art. It's the same character and the same gameplay, but this rebrand was probably before it was Rogue Souls, right? And
yeah, something like that.
We were both like, that's like probably SEO not optimized, because Rogue and Souls are both incredibly popular and common like game genre names.
Yeah.
So Ember Knights, probably better idea. Planned release date summer 2021. You know what's in the Steam page, Steve, now?
GIF.
But yeah, it's
that's true.
It's good. So you can check that out, Tiny Titan Studios. And yeah, they got a whole trailer now, Steve. Before we only had that little like 10 seconds of gameplay. So
yeah, I'm really interested in the online co-op of this. Is there many online co-op roguelites?
I think Enter the Gungeon has co-op. I don't know if it's online.
I think Child of Morta was 1 to 2 players.
No, it doesn't. There's workarounds, like it supports that Steam feature that lets you play like a couch co-op game online, which I've tried. It's a little finicky. But yeah, this I don't know if it'll be online. Does it say online anywhere on this page?
It says 1 to 4 player online and local co-op. Or sorry, you're talking about.
It says remote play together that's the Steam feature. So I think that way counts using that feature as online. Co-op.
Really? That's sneaky.
Yeah. At least that's what I'm basing off the Steam page. I don't see anywhere else that it says like dedicated servers or anything. So yeah, Ember Knights been rebranded. We wish them all the best, and I'm excited to check it out. Would you play this with me, Steve, on Steam?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Excellent.
They want testers actually as of November 3rd, so.
Hey, I've tested games before.
There you
go. Dauntless, which we're both realizing is one of the biggest Canadian games probably on the scene right now, just got a massive new update, the Reforged update. 18 new islands to explore and defeat behemoths, a new progression system, new reforge system, as well as plenty of other goodies, and also announced the expansion of the studio to Montreal and Los Angeles, where, quote, each studio has its own new game explorations rather than any kind of transition away from Dauntless. So similar to how Respawn opened a Vancouver studio with 100 devs just to continue supporting Apex, it looks like Dauntless is opening... the studio Phoenix Labs. In Vancouver, interestingly enough, is opening studios in Montreal and LA to support Dauntless. And what was the player count we were kind of stunned by?
I think it was I think it said 25 million.
Holy moly, Steve.
So I don't know if that's concurrent players. I doubt it. I feel like maybe that's just one-time players. But still, that's pretty freaking impressive. I downloaded the update. I just sort of roamed around the first world or whatever, or the town, just to see, because I remember even on PS4 and on Switch, like the town lagged so bad, and at least on PS5 it's a lot better. But I haven't jumped into like the new mode or anything like that. I just sort of downloaded and just kind of looked around. You know what they did do though? I don't know when they did this. One of my pet peeves is like in the battle pass, it wasn't possible to get enough of the premium money to pay for the next battle pass.
Ooh.
They've now changed that with I don't know when they changed it, but with this battle pass that came out with this new update, you can, if you like get to like the 48th level out of 50 or whatever, you will have enough to get the next battle pass. So appreciate that.
Dauntless is now available on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and it's been introducing our game to new audiences. The version of Dauntless on Next Gen as it exists today should feel similar. We do have plans to optimize the game for Next Gen and tap into some of the more cutting-edge technology on these platforms. More to share next year.
Yeah, it's not like the PS5 version, like how they did with Fortnite or whatever. It just like works.
Or Warframe is like specifically optimized for PS5, coming to Series X later.
So it doesn't have that.
Interesting.
But it does. But like, you know, I played it and it seemed to run smoother. But I haven't played Dauntless in a couple of months, so I don't know if that was just from before. But I remember on Switch, like it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, the Switch is a tough one. I'll never forget the interview with Respawn when they asked if Titanfall 2 would come to the Switch, and the guy just laughed at them.
And now Apex Legends.
And now they have to get Apex running on Switch, and that guy's probably hating his life.
Probably.
No, he's probably well compensated, but trying to get Apex. And the other question I have, anyone listening, if you can let me know, is Apex Legends going to be the first game developed in Source released on the Nintendo Switch, which I'm curious about. Which would be its own huge challenge. So yeah, Dauntless, Monster Hunter-like, but with a more Fortnite-y aesthetic. Fair to say, Steve? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
We liked it. We played. We streamed it earlier this year, late last year.
I don't even remember when the hell that was.
Who knows? This year's been crazy.
That could have been last week for all I remember. I just remember every time because it's 4 players, right? So every time we jumped in, there was children.
Children were talking to us in children voices. And that's okay. Children can play games too. I won't stop them.
I will.
I want to highlight a Kickstarter coming out soon from Jay in Saskatoon. He is releasing a Kickstarter for Beyond the Oaks third-person shooter. They've been active in our Discord, sharing video clips. It's an action-adventure third-person shooter. Travel to a world beyond the Oaks, lost in time by an ancient curse. The trailer isn't on their Kickstarter yet because the Kickstarter hasn't launched yet, but you can click a button to get notified when it goes live. But looking at the trailer in our Discord here, let me pull it up quick. It's tight, over the shoulder, third person, and yeah, it's got what am I trying to say here? I'd say it's got like Warframe vibes because the screen moves really fast when you pick a direction, like it sort of like streams in that direction, which I've noticed in Warframe the few times I've played it. Single person team, so incredibly ambitious to do anything by yourself. Nonetheless, a third person 3D action adventure shooter. So I'm interested to see how this game goes. Apparently, he said he's been working on it full time for about a year, launching the Kickstarter to fund the rest of development. So I assume there'll be a roadmap with stretch goals, and we'll be following the game on the site as that comes out. What do you think, Steve?
Pretty excited about this. I didn't know Kickstarter did this sort of thing.
Yeah, like a build hype before even the Kickstarter launches.
Yeah. Did he mention either in the Discord or anything like that, like what platforms? Or
no, I'm scrolling through because he's plugged it twice now. He did one on Work in Progress, and I think another one on Shameless Plugging. Let me find that one. I assume with a single team. Oh yeah, here's the Kickstarter trailer. They shared it early. It's on their
exclusive
YouTube,
on
actually.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh yeah, if you search up Dragonfly Games on YouTube, you can view the trailer. Let me see at the end if they say any consoles.
Like, I'm assuming it's just going to be PC to start.
Yeah, I assume PC to start, because usually you take the resources you make off PC if it does well.
What do you search? Dragonfly Heroes?
Dragonfly, here, I'll just link it to you in Discord. Dragonfly Games, Dragonfly one word, and Games, a separate word. I think it'll be if you just search Dragonfly Games Beyond the Oaks, you'll see new Kickstarter trailer. The character almost looks to me like Isaac from what's that horror game?
Dead Space.
Dead Space. And yeah, it's smooth. It's a smooth trailer. I assume it's running on like a good PC probably, but yeah, it's weird. There's like weird dancing zombie like things, almost like that Sons of the Forest trailer from the Game Awards last year. You remember that?
Yeah.
There's like a weird vocal track while these like weird zombie like finger things dance around a graveyard. Weird vibes. I like third person shooters, Steve.
Me too.
I prefer third person to first person because I like seeing the character I'm playing as.
I know this has nothing to do with the game we're talking about now, but I'm very disappointed that Resident Evil 8 is going to be in first person, not third person.
Okay, that's interesting though, because for horror, I prefer first person. Really? Resident Evil 7 is my favorite Resident Evil game of the few I've played. Specifically the VR mode for RE7 though. Like you can't really do, well, I guess you can do third person VR, but like first person VR horror is like the way to do horror in my opinion.
Is Resident Evil 8 going to have VR?
I don't know. I have to get that. You can send Sony your PSVR like serial number and they'll send you the adapter to get it working with PS5. So I gotta do that sometime soon. I did the same thing when Xbox One moved up to the Series Xbox One S. You could send them the serial number of your Kinect and S, and they'll send you an adapter. So, and the adapter by itself was like $150. So I'm like, I might just get it, and if I don't use it, just sell it. So I might do that for the PSVR too.
Oh, look at you! Just making
look at me go,
making smart decisions here.
I try. They just send it to you. Why not?
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah,
I don't
VR.
even.
Go ahead.
I don't even have like my VR anymore, so I wasn't even gonna. I kind of forgot all about that like little dongle.
They're working on another one. They are absolutely.
I gotta imagine
there was that patent.
I gotta imagine they want to get the PS5 stuff kind of under control.
Dude, that operating system came in hot. I was listening to Patrick Klepek at Vice talk about some anonymous sources at PlayStation. The reason they showed the OS so late, like a week or two before it launched, is because it wasn't done yet. Like it was coming in really hot, and like people are having those troubles with the PS4, PS5 version of games, and people are having that other trouble where like if you play the PS4 version, you have to like factory reset your storage, and like it's one of the more buggy OSs I've ever experienced.
Yeah, actually, just this morning when we booted up the PS5, it like had to rebuild the database and stuff.
I've had to do that 2 times since I got it.
Yeah, and I was like, did our power go out? But like,
nope, it's just doing that.
To do that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, check out Beyond the Oaks on Kickstarter. You can get it notified when it goes live. Currently 45 people notified. That's cool. They tell you how many people.
Yeah.
And we will be covering it on the site throughout. It's good to see. There's been a lot of really successful Kickstarters this year. There was that Zora puzzle game. There was Sea of Stars, the most successful video game Kickstarter. Or no, Canadian video game Kickstarter specifically. Yeah, and Land, that point and click adventure one that didn't make it, but they said they put up a Steam page anyway, and they're like, we're still going to keep working on it. It was that real estate one in like, you know the one I'm talking about?
I don't actually know.
We did it for a Wishlist This afterwards. But yeah, Canadians tapping into the Kickstarter space. Good for them.
Yes.
All right, Steve, I want to close out with probably the biggest Canadian gaming news of the week, maybe the year. Bioware general manager Casey Hudson and Dragon Age producer Mark Dara at the same time have resigned from the Edmonton-based prolific RPG studio. The abrupt resignations were announced via a blog post by EA Chief Studios Officer Laura Miele, and Hudson and Dara each wrote their own posts as well. Miele says they're still looking for a new general manager, but announced that Christian Daly will be replacing Dara as executive producer on the new Dragon Age. Daly is currently the studio director at Bioware Austin, working on future Anthem updates. This is a quote from Miele. When I think about Bioware's future and the next generation of talent in place, I could not be more confident or optimistic. I certainly could be. As we look to the studio's future and the projects currently under development, the next generation of Bioware talent is leading the studio forward, making some incredible games I know you'll be excited to experience in the coming years. This announcement comes 3 weeks after Hudson wrote a blog post announcing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition and Mass Effect 4 on the website, on the Bioware blog. So they probably knew at that point they were leaving.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's I did a little research, put my journalism cap on for this piece on the site if people want to read it. Hudson's first credited game at Bioware was a technical artist on MDK2 in 2000. Hudson then directed Knights of the Old Republic, the Mass Effect original trilogy. He left the company in 2014 to work with Microsoft, and then he returned as general manager of Bioware in 2017, a few months after the release of Mass Effect Andromeda. I assume that was a call he got after Andromeda bombed, and it was like, please come sort it out. He was GM for the release of one game, which was Anthem, in 2019, and has now left. So his time as general manager was dealing with the Andromeda backlash and then the launch and backlash of Anthem. So probably not a fun time to manage that studio.
Probably not.
Dara is credited as the executive producer on Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age Dawn of the Seeker, and Dragon Age Inquisition, and as well as the director and producer of Dragon Age 2, which the Dragon Age fans in my life often say is their favorite. He was also executive producer on the currently unannounced Dragon Age product. Although, Steve, weirdly enough, when you go to the Wikipedia page for the new Dragon Age, it gives it a name, but I haven't been able to find like the credited name for the new Dragon Age at the bottom. It just links to the Game Awards reveal, and that trailer doesn't have any name in it, so I have no idea where this name came from. Let me find it quick. It's called... Oh, they gave it a name.
I thought it was just listed as Dragon Age 4.
Oh, maybe I was mistaken here. Dragon Age... Maybe I was looking at something else. What was I looking at?
I didn't even know about Dragon Age Dawn of the Seeker, which I guess is like an anime.
Wait a minute.
Didn't even know existed. Yeah, like Dragon Age is only Origins, and then
you're right.
2, and then Inquisition. And
What was I looking at?
I saw a tweet from Jeff actually that says that said something about like we'll see. What did he say? He said we'll see more of Dragon Age 4, but like worded it in a way that made it seem like, are we just going to see concept art again? Hold on, what
probably. It's a mess from the outside looking in. No, I have no inside knowledge whatsoever. The last several years of BioWare have been rough.
Yeah.
To say the least. They currently have 2 studios, one in Austin, Texas, and the main studio in Edmonton. Yeah, Andromeda did quite poorly critically, and I liked it for what it was trying to do. It was buggy as hell, though. Anthem, pretty heavily panned across the board.
Yeah, they're still like working on, like, it will almost be 2 years from when that game released, and they just released like a blog post like not too long ago of just some of the changes, and it's just like, I'm like, I don't know, you guys, I feel like you missed your boat already. Like 2 years later, like no one's going to care no matter what you do. I feel like No Man's Sky had like 3 or 4 updates like within the first year and a bit,
I found it, Steve. If you go to, it's specifically the Wikipedia page list of Bioware games. They call it Dragon Age: The Dread Wolf Rises, and the citation is just the trailer from the Game Awards. So I think someone just edited that, and like I have no idea where that name came from. But
the Dread. That sounds familiar.
Name makes sense because in the trailer, the like big concept art is like this big wolf coming out of the ground. So
yeah, the Dread Wolf is something in the Dragon Age lore. I forget exactly what it is, but
yeah, I was just scrolling through this art and I was like, wait, that's the name of it? And there's the citations aren't like the link is to the Verge article about the trailer, and in the Verge article they don't say.
What happens if you just Google? So
you know what? It's written in the very. Oh wait, hold on, let me see.
So on the dragonage.fandom.com, the wiki, the Dreadwolf Rises is currently working title for the 4th installment Dragon Age video game. Where it says the current working title, it says confirmation needed.
Yeah, confirmation needed. I want to read a quote from Mark Dara. He says, BioWare has always been about telling emotional stories through characters. We have wandered away from this central guiding pillar, but I am confident that the next Dragon Age will show that we remain committed to this kind of game. We still have a lot to show you. That quote is important to me because I think that's the only person from BioWare I've heard go like, BioWare is losing what made their earlier games great. We have wandered away from this central guiding pillar. And maybe that speaks to some of the reasons Dara's leaving. I don't know. But he... I mean, of course, you have to say this. But he says, "I'm confident the next Dragon Age will show you that we remain committed to this kind of game, even though we is not him anymore." So yeah, that was a key acknowledgement of, I think, a lot of people's issue with BioWare and qualms with their recent output.
So the Dreadwolf is like the Loki equivalent in Dragon Age lore. Like he's the trickster god or whatever.
Okay.
And I guess he's hinted at the end of Dragon Age Inquisition, but I fucking don't remember that at all.
He's like main front and center of that teaser trailer.
Yeah.
As we reported earlier this year, Steve, EA CFO Blake Jorgensen said that they're aiming to have Dragon Age out. I misquoted it when we talked about it a few weeks ago. They are hoping between Q1 2021 and Q1 2022, which is April. Their year ends in March. So allegedly Dragon Age 4 will be out sometime before April 2022, but who knows?
That's so far away.
I'll be dead, you might be dead, who knows?
I will most certainly be dead.
And so tough times at BioWare. The Montreal studio got canned after Andromeda. The lead on Anthem is getting pulled to take over Dragon Age now, so that's a shakeup at Anthem, which is trying to do that big Beyond update. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like a little definitely trouble in BioWare. Like they were probably one of the most revered and loved companies leading up to. I guess it kind of all started with Mass Effect 3, the ending, right? People
blew that out of proportion. Mass Effect 3 is still, I think, like people like that game. They just really hate the ending, and that became the story.
I didn't play it, so I just remember like people getting mad or whatever, and I was like, I don't even know. But I think that kind of started the sort of like, I think it's like always they don't blame BioWare, they blame EA type of thing.
Everyone blames EA. I blame EA because it's very clearly. Like BioWare got big off their early CRPG stuff. Knights of the Old Republic is. I've never heard anyone complain about that game. Everyone I know who plays that game loves it.
Yeah.
They worked on Baldur's Gate and stuff, like these revered RPGs. Got acquired by EA. Did a couple more Dragon Age, a couple more Mass Effects, and then just slowly have been just losing the beloved. But the fans of Dragon Age are some of the most passionate people with Twitter accounts. Like,
yeah,
they are crazy about that game, and I don't know if it's enough people to save them for Dragon Age 4, but it'll be a lot of people deeply invested in that game.
Yeah. Hey, let's put a quick pause because Sophia's crying. I should tend
putting a pause.
Put a pause.
Don't actually pause the recording.
Okay, no, I'm just going to mute me.
Cool.
Right, I'm back.
All right. That's it for the news this week. All our love to all the developers at Bioware who are having this shaky leadership and tumultuous few years trying to do their jobs. And we have some Bioware developers in the Discord who's been lovely to see them get jobs at Dream Studio that they want to work with. So that's been cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Steve, it's time for Wishlist This. This segment, for those who don't know, is inspired by Steve and Brett's, rest in peace, frequent wishlisting of games while we were talking about them. So I was like, hey, why not just pick 3 Canadian games for everyone to wishlist every week? Because we all know the wishlists are key to a game's success on the heavily crowded Steam storefront, as well as other places. We bent the rules a little in the past, but this is a triple Steam threat this week. So, first game I want to highlight for you, Steve, is Doomsday Room by Doubleton Studio in Montreal, Quebec. We streamed their game Breacher's Story earlier this year on twitch.tv/CanadianGameDevs.
Yeah.
I was pretty interested in that game because it served an educational purpose as well, teaching people about how hackers get into phones and your information. And that's kind of like a very simple game to grasp mechanically. It's just like a kind of story-driven click and option game, but you learn a lot. I learned a lot in like the hour or so I played it on stream about different terms that hackers use, and it got me to add 2-factor authentication on all my stuff. And changed a couple of passwords. So this new game is, quote, a fictional geopolitical game set during a fictional Cold War. I've been playing a lot of Cold War, so I'm in a Cold War move. Doomsday Room has a great art style. I love that. Like, again, Steve, one day I'll get good at describing art. I'm not today. It's a 2D stylized. Did anyone play Counter Spy, that other game set during the Cold War? It was kind of like, yeah, okay, that's the vibe I'm getting. There's a big world map with like DEFCON 2 in the corner, and all the United Nations are around a table trying to decide what to do. It looks like another game with a lot of like point and click adventures. Like I'm looking at a decision here. We want stronger global anti-piracy measures. Do I draft new anti-piracy measures or consider the issue regional? We've got character stills who come up and talk to you. There's like a science guy trying to tell me that we've been secretly tracking Norland's space program, and that new information I think will help you in some way. The map changes as you get progress through. We're at DEFCON 5, and you can see different nukes that we've identified around the map. Please select a sector for nuclear testing. Yeah, what do you think, Steve?
It's looking pretty sweet. I'm just reading kind of the Steam.
In Doomsday Room, you are a representative of Borealia, one of the 7 nations who control the world. Using your insight and decision-making skills, you will weigh in on different scenarios, which in turn will affect global world stability. Prevent nuclear war for 40 years, stockpile nuclear warheads, and use them as a deterrent. Cripple your rivals' advancements with internal wars and conflicts. Plan a coup or help overtake a government, and more. Turn-based, single-player, fictional, choice-driven simulator.
I like how
that's pretty succinct.
The first objective is prevent nuclear war for 40 years.
Yeah, after that, everyone gets
After that, don't even worry about it. You're old, so you'll just, whatever.
Yeah, planned release date January 1st, but it is on Steam right now. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I'm liking it. Looks pretty sweet.
Good style, right? Good style?
Yeah. Everything about
I gotta
it.
ask, Steve, is Doomsday Room from Doubleton in Montreal on your Steam wish list?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. Any last minute thoughts?
No, I think it's just like a pretty unique style looking game, unique like story, unique type of game. Kind of like a little bit of a risk as well. Like it looks like you might be, because it says plan a coup or help overtake a government. So I feel like there's going to be choices for sabotage and choices for alliances and stuff like that. So
I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
I love the Cold War as a setting is one of my favorites. We were so close to winning, Steve, but we'll get him next time.
Interesting that there's a piece of land in like the very north part. I guess like that's because it doesn't have Antarctica, but it does have like a land for North America or North Pole.
They got nukes up there, don't they? Like they're in the ice, maybe ground. I don't know.
Well, I assume there's like when the icebergs melt in the next couple months. Mm-hmm. That a nuke will just sort of show up, one of Hitler's old nukes, and he'll just come back. And
I mean, he's waiting for that.
Probably. I remember watching a conspiracy Netflix thing, and there was actually like a conspiracy that Hitler had fled to the Antarctica and had like a Nazi base in the Antarctica.
That's rough. That's a tough one.
Borealia,
Borealia, the nation you're in charge of, is like Canada, but we kept Alaska. Oh, and I guess we have Greenland and Iceland.
It seems like we have like kind of New York and like sort of
oh yeah, it dips down a bit. Interesting.
We took the cold places. I was like, we'll take your cold northeastern cities too. Don't worry.
Next game today on Wishlist This. We covered it on the news when it was announced, but we want to highlight it here on Wishlist This. Rocket Rumble by Pixelnots Games. Disclaimer, patron of the site. In St. Catharines, Ontario. It's releasing TBD 2021. They're accepting beta testers, and they're in their Discord, which you should go join, as I am. Quote, Rocket Rumble is the racing party game combining the best parts of combat racing and fast-paced action fighting games. Rocket Rumble is a 2 to 4 player party game where a charming cast of animals in rocket suits smash and bash their way across the finish line. Sign up now for the beta. We talked about this a bit when we covered it on the news, but I'm very impressed. The animation is tight. The trailer is gorgeous. Corgi dropped into a mech, launched onto the racetrack, smashing into other cute animals in mechs. This is going to be a big one, Steve. I think this one has what it takes. You know what
Potential.
I mean? It's obviously using a lot of what they learned from Terminal Orbit in the movement of the characters, but now making it into a competitive, in Terminal Orbit, you're kind of, it's like a single player, like space racer almost, but this is on a track with other characters and items like Mario Kart almost. It's so smooth. Like even for beta, like the gameplay in the trailer is crisp and gorgeous, and I love it. And there's no gifts in the Steam description, but that's okay. They have time.
I like
Select from a cast of 8 furry and feathered. They do have time. Jazz up your characters with tons of accessories and custom paint jobs. Excellent. What do you think of Rocket Rumble?
Yeah, I'm liking it. I really enjoyed Lost Orbit too, and it does have that similar vibe, but just with the competitiveness to it. And of course, it's cute with all the dogs and stuff like that. The art's really good. I'm liking it. It says approximately how long will this game be in early access? Q2 2021 is when they plan on launching it.
I don't, because it says planned release date coming 2021, but is that launching fully or in early access? Wait a minute.
That's a good point. It's not very clear.
Because they have a beta you can get into through their Discord or sign up on their site. So I don't know if the beta is ongoing right now, but yeah, they might be just doing beta stuff now and then it's coming out in 2021 Q2. Q2 is like March or April to July or something, right?
Yeah.
April,
May, June.
Okay. I should sign up. I think I did sign up for the beta, but I should get into it. It looks so cool, Steve. We should play this with some people on the Discord.
No.
I have to ask, Steve, is Rocket Rumble from Pixelnot Games in St. Catharines, Ontario on your Steam wish list?
Yes, it is. It was before, though, so just...
Oh, okay. Well, I'll play it. Last game today on Wishlist This, Game Dev Masters from Ryan Saunders in Canada. He posted this in our Discord on the Shameless Plugin channel, so I found it and added it. Releasing early 2021, quote, in Game Dev Masters, you are teleported to an alternate universe to prove your game design mastery. You will need to make critical decisions about how to grow your company and staff. Use logic combined with a plethora of player options to create the #1 AAA game studio of all time. And then get bought by EA and watch it all go to hell. No, that's not there. I'm a big fan of these types of games. I love Game Dev Tycoon, and we looked at that other sort of project manager game type sim also developed in Western Canada earlier on a different episode of Wishlist This. This is more like where Game Dev Tycoon is sort of like a isometric 2D simple art style. This is like 3D assets. You're managing like a studio that has a bunch of cubicles and space, and there's like the command center you've got where you're making choices about different features to include, different conventions to book and pay for versus the return on like interest. It's and then it looks like you're acquiring other studios. On this last screenshot,
one of the features is 15 AI companies which you can buy, sell stock for. So
interesting. Yearly awards, beautiful 3D environments, multiple leaderboards to try and dominate. So there's going to be an online element. Real review lines from known reviewers. Excellent.
Oh, we should try to get in there.
Planned release date, early 2021. Why early access? Quote, as a solo developer, I need to make use of player feedback and data to complete this game. This game provides an overwhelming amount of player options, and it will take time to ensure a good and balanced design before moving into release. How long? I want to make the best experience possible, ideally 3 to 6 months. I have several things I plan to accomplish. Then I would like to release version 1.0, but I will listen to my community if they feel changes are needed before then. Good. Good work, Ryan. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I also like Game Dev Tycoon. Thought it was always pretty fun. I think it was pretty cool. Good on him being a solo dev too. I think there's actually like quite some good stuff here.
Mm-hmm. I like these.
I'm excited to dive into this. So
yeah. That said, Steve, is Game Dev Masters from Ryan Saunders on your Steam wish list?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. That is it for Wishlist This for this week, episode number 168. If you want to get your name on this segment, please send it to us any way possible. Contact CanadaGameDevs.com. I sometimes tweet out looking for it, so follow at Canada Game Devs, or just jump in our Discord and post it there. I'm always skimming for Canadian content to include. Let's talk about some discussions we had on Discord this week, Steve. You had a little discussion about RPG mechanics in games. What did you come away with from that?
Because I think Dragon Slumber was just kind of saying, like, Doom and a few other games kind of throw in these, like, numbers or whatever RPG mechanics to sort of just, I guess, aid in the difficulty. Like, it's easier to kind of scale that sort of difficulty. And I was just like, I like RPG mechanics, but I know some people kind of don't. They rather have like a cleaner, like more like simpler approach.
I'm one of those
sort
people
of like,
too.
Yeah, like sort of how I was saying about roguelites, so like where it's just like you got to throw some RPG stuff in there for me because I'm not gonna like what's the start? Don't starve. Like I just can't play it.
Can't restart every single time from nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And Binding of Isaac and all these other things. Like, I gotta get some RPG stuff in there, like Rogue Legacy and Child of Morta and things like that. But it's just, I think he was saying like there seems to be an increase in these like RPG mechanics. Assassin's Creed went RPG, God of War went RPG, Doom kind of went RPG. Mm-hmm. These games that were traditional, like God of War was straight up just an action slasher, just mash square and triangle, watch the times 20, times 30 in the bottom go up. And then God of War 2018 was like, what if none of that was there anymore? And it was just an RPG with a skill tree and items with different stat boosts and menus. And Assassin's Creed did the similar switch with Origins. Yeah, Origins.
And Doom is getting into that even more so in Eternal. Like there's a huge skill tree in Eternal and lots of
I didn't know that. I haven't played Eternal yet, so.
But yeah, so all of these, and it's a trend that we were observing in the Discord, and I think it's obviously because those are popular, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the biggest launch of any Assassin's Creed game ever, so like it's working in the sense that these games are doing well. But for people who don't really like that, like me, it's kind of turning me off these games.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think I'm in a minority, and I think the majority are liking that.
Yeah, I think for me it's just like I like RPGs, and I've grown up playing so many of them, so like you throw that into games, like I just get kind of happier. Though I will say I just finished Foregone, and I kind of wish it didn't have the RPG stuff in it, because I feel like it's just like such a smoother, like it's such a smooth kind of action platform, sort of like Guacamelee, which doesn't have.
It has a skill tree, but it's really simple. Like
it's
you just go.
It's really simple. Yeah. And you don't like level up stuff. Like in Foregone, you don't really level up yourself, but you do level up your skills and because it also has a skill tree that's bigger, and your abilities, and you get like gear, which you just you just swap in and out. Like it doesn't even matter. So I wouldn't say it's not necessarily true all the time, but like Assassin's Creed Origins was my favorite Assassin's Creed, and things like that. I tend to definitely do like those games more, the more kind of RPG stuff you throw in there. So
Yeah, we're two very different players, and the RPG stuff getting injected into these series that didn't have it is working very differently for us, and Dragon Slumber as well. Not very hot on Doom Eternal for some of those reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I will say too, because Resident Evil 2, one of my favorite games, doesn't have RPG mechanics in it. Like, you do kind of upgrade your weapons, I guess. You can find them,
that's very minimal.
Yeah. But there is, like, for Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2, there was like a raid mode, which was like an RPG, and I was mad addicted to it, especially in Revelations 1. It was awesome. You would just, you had your own level, you would level up. I don't think I had a skill tree, but you get new weapons and stuff like that. I loved it. So I wouldn't mind if games kind of take that approach, where...
For the multiplayer, there's RPG elements.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And like, you see these multiplayer games now too, like Call of Duty and all these things. They didn't have RPG stuff in it before. Now they do. So,
is there RPG stuff in Call of Duty?
Well, you get new perks and all that shit. That wasn't a thing like 10 years ago.
Yeah, since Modern Warfare 2, you've been unlocking perks and stuff.
Yeah.
Anywho, we also talked in the Discord about Cyberpunk, which is releasing this week. Allegedly, I'll believe it when I see it. As of this recording, Saturday, December 12th, it is scheduled to release Thursday, December 10th. So we'll see. Lots of people are super excited. Dragon Slumber was also excited. Quote, I cannot wait. Well, I can, and I am. Aaron said, I'm not at that level, but I am interested, and reviews can definitely sway me. And you said, Steve, I'm assuming the gamer response to Cyberpunk will be a fucking gong show, of which I think is the best way to put it. And I shared this list someone made, some entrepreneur on the internet, of everything that's released since Cyberpunk was announced. Cyberpunk was revealed as like sort of an animated image of like the woman kneeling in the street and the guy putting a gun to the back of her head. Since that announcement of Cyberpunk 2077, which was the name when it was announced, there have been 2 Resident Evil remakes, 2 The Last of Us games, 2 Rockstar open world games, 3 Gears of War, 2 Dark Souls, 11 Call of Duties, 9 Assassin's Creeds. You made the observation that 4 Naughty Dog games, which you know how long it takes Naughty Dog to make a game.
Yeah. I guess 5, actually. 5, technically, because there was
Golden
Uncharted.
Abyss, Lost Legacy, 4, Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2, but Golden Abyss wasn't Naughty Dog.
Oh, wait, right. You're right. Sorry.
Final Fantasy 13 became Final Fantasy 15 and released. Kingdom Hearts 3, the announcement and launch of Shenmue 3 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
That is crazy.
The Ouya was kickstarted, released, and died in the time between 2 World Cups, 5 Star Wars movies. Crash came back with a remastered trilogy, a racing spin-off, and Crash 4. 6 Yakuza games, 2 Popes, 2 Spider-Man reboots in theaters, 3 if you count Spider-Verse, 3 Avengers movies, the death of the Wii U and the launch of the Switch. All right, Steve. The launch of the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. Stadia's launch... Shingeki no Kyojin was in its first season and will be completely over before Cyberpunk launches, which I guess is this weekend. And Skyrim was ported to fridges.
I never saw the Skyrim in the fridge stuff. I saw the Skyrim Alexa one, but I didn't see...
Steve, this game cannot live up to the hype. It just can't.
No, and... I mean, I haven't really been following this game. I don't really care about it. I might pick it up, like... I don't know.
Just wait for the next gen version.
Yeah, I won't pick it up on PS4. I'll get the next gen PS5 box or whatever, but I don't know. It's just whatever. Like, what? I can't even tell you what this game is about. I've barely been paying attention to it.
The marketing I've seen on my Instagram and on Facebook has been pushing it as like a really high octane action shooter, like people like shooting out of cars and like
but it's not like, that, right? Like,
no, it's got a lot of character narrative and RPG elements, and like it's based on the like Night City Wire things, like the heavy octane gun shootout, sword fighting down hallways won't be as like the core thing you're doing. It'll be this sort of adventure RPG through this cyberpunk world. The reason I'm not too interested in it is I don't trust Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red as a company to handle the punk genre. Like Cyberpunk isn't supposed to be cool. Like the original conceit of Cyberpunk, as I understand it from like the original writers of the RPG and some of the sci-fi or some of the written Cyberpunk, is it's a warning. Like it's like shit's going to get really, really bad as corporations essentially become countries. And we're seeing that with Amazon. And the fact that the social media team for this game, and there's a great Polygon article this week, just sort of tracking the last 4 years of Cyberpunk's Twitter presence, where they're like tweeting jokes back and forth with Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk should be the villain in a Cyberpunk game, you know? But like they're trying to lean into this like the Elon Musk fan base of weird freaks on Twitter and Cyberpunk's fan base of weird freaks on Twitter is essentially a Venn diagram of one circle. And like the fact that they're leaning into that so much, and they actually, I didn't remember, they fired one of their social media marketing persons after just a slew of fuck ups. Like they were replying to people who were tweeting at the account like, "Oh, did you just assume my gender? Lol, lol, lol."
Yeah.
And they had they tweeted a tombstone that just said games criticism on it, and the date of death was like the first day of Gamergate. Just like they were going for the what's the word? Like the edgiest of edgy gamers. And if that's who they're positioning this to, and that's who they want to be most interested in this game, I don't trust this game to handle its source material well at all, or be something I at all am interested in or care about.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's I just like I didn't really play The Witcher. Like I tried to get into The Witcher quite a bit, and I just never could, and didn't enjoy it. And the cyberpunk like genre, like I don't even think I've ever seen anything cyberpunk. Like is
like
what was
Blade
it?
Runner.
Yeah, I was going to say Blade Runner is maybe the only thing that I've ever seen that's like that sort of thing. So it's just a genre that I don't care about. It's a game now that is just like shoved in my face at every goddamn place that I'm just so tired of it. I don't want to see it anymore. So I'm like,
maybe it launches the day of the Game Awards, Steve.
Maybe when PS5 comes out, like the version, I'll play it, but I'm not super excited about picking it up.
I hear Sophia. We should motor along.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about what we've been playing. For events, I want to plug Unity Club by DMG. It's happening Monday, December 14th, a week from today for patrons, 5 days now from everyone else. Get together, talk about Unity project, or just listen to other people learn designing techniques, challenges, and more. And Dirty Rectangles is happening Wednesday, December 9th at 8:30, twitch.tv/Dirty Rectangles. Cool talks. What have you been playing this past week, Steve?
I beat Foregone.
You talked about it a bit, but you wish it didn't have as many RPG elements, and the ending was super tough for you.
Oh, the last boss was really, really tough. And you got to beat it twice to get the platinum. I don't think I'm going to do that, because you got to get a bunch of secrets and stuff, and it's a little bit Metroidvania in that some of the secrets you couldn't get before. But it is like
kind of like
linear.
Guacamelee.
Yeah, it is linear though, so you can go back to these worlds and stuff. But
okay,
I don't know. I just like plowed through it this evening, and I enjoy it. It's good. I think you should pick it up. It kind of makes me want to play Dead Cells. Dead Cells. I'll try it. I know it's different genres. Like it's not a roguelike. Like Foregone.
Oh, Dead Cells. Oh yeah, Foregone's not a roguelike. Yeah.
Yeah,
light.
Foregone is like a linear story-driven game.
Like action platformer. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. It kind of gives me Guacamelee feel, to be perfectly honest. Like the battling is like combo heavy and very dodgy.
Juggling enemies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think you'd like it.
I think I would too. I should check it out.
And I have been playing Grindstone.
Yes.
I don't have much to say about it, but
your phone. Best mobile game ever made.
And then Worms Rumble. I
PS Plus game for the month.
Yeah, I downloaded it, and I have a long history with Worms, and I enjoyed it back in the day.
It's not traditional Worms.
But it's not. No, it's like this weird Smash Brothers Battle Royale Worms game. It's pretty.
I like traditional Worms.
I do too. It's okay. I just don't think it has enough depth to it and enough kind of there to sustain it. I feel like the 2 or 3 hours I've played of it, I'm kind of like, okay, I feel like I've seen everything this game has to offer.
Don't get sick of it yet. We should play it.
Yeah, I'll keep it and I'll play it more. There's a few more trophies I'm pretty close to getting, so I'll keep it and see how the game like evolves or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of like how Fall Guys, like I played a lot of that, and now I'll never play it again because I've seen everything about Fall Guys. Like sort of Worms Rumble, although that time came way sooner.
Did you play any of season 2 of Fall Guys with all the knight and castle stuff?
No, I played maybe like an hour, and I only got like 1 or 2 new levels, and I was like, eh. And then I saw there was only like 4 new levels, and I was like, eh, I'm done.
The playlists are nice. You can choose whether you want to play like just the non-team ones or the team ones, which is something me and my friend do play a lot. Really appreciate it. And you drop with your friends now in the screen, which is a little nice touch.
Unless they do some sort of mode where you can win easily because you're on a team or something like that, then I probably won't, because the one trophy. Yeah,
I have 5 trophies left, and I'm never going to get that win 5 in a row. So, well. Demon Souls, talk to me, Steve.
Have you been playing this?
Yes.
It's really good. Like,
it's gorgeous.
I haven't played too many. I played Dark Souls, maybe half of Dark Souls, and I beat Bloodborne. That's pretty much my entire experience.
You beat Bloodborne? Oh, that was my favorite one.
Yeah. That's been my experience with these type of games, but Demon Souls is damn good. And what I really like is that you can jump, like, the levels are disjointed, and you can kind of jump in and out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And because it just loads so fast, I don't mind doing that. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, I feel like this on PS3 to do this.
Hold on. I'm getting a fire alarm.
No.
Oh, someone pulled the fire alarm. So that's going to be an abrupt end. Do you want to just... I'll record. I have to go outside. There's a fire alarm.
All right, yeah. Don't die.
All right. Let's
Should we just wrap this up tomorrow?
24 hours later.
All right, everyone. Sorry about that delay. We are now 1 day after we started recording because we were recording late last night, and I had my fire alarm in my building go off, so I had to go stand out in the rain for a while, and that was fun.
Oh, it was raining? Oh, that's brutal.
It was like sideways rain too. Got that Atlantic rain.
That's garbage.
But yeah, Steve has been playing some good Canadian games and Demon Souls, and I have been playing a game on Game Pass with someone in our Discord, Tetris Effect Connected. Steve, I don't know if you're familiar with this. Is an Xbox exclusive remastered, new updated version of Tetris Effect, and it has a co-op mode, which is going down right now as my favorite moment in any video game in 2020 so far. In this co-op mode, I didn't know anything about it. Not Demon Souls, fucking Dragon Slumber in our Discord was like, "Hey, let's play some of the co-op." I was like, "Oh, sick!" So it's 3v1. The one is the AI computer, and it was me, Dragon Slumber, and an AI on our team, and you're all playing, trying to get a high score, clear lines, get Tetrises, and then the AI will do things to mess you up. Where all 3 of our screens are beside each other, and then it'll push the bottom 4 rows of the person on my right onto mine, and then shuffle everyone over, and things like that. But periodically, once you hit a certain score point, you all merge your screens together, and then you're playing on one screen, but you take turns dropping a piece. So I'll see a faded out outline of my next piece, and I can move it around and get it set up, but I have to wait for the person before me to drop theirs in order. And we got to a point where we were in such a flow where it was drop, 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 drop. And we were I was in position with the next piece, and you try to fill the whole screen. Lines don't disappear. You just try and fill it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And Steve, it was so cool. I love Tetris. I've played dozens of versions of Tetris at this point. Tetris Effect Connected on Game Pass. Probably my favorite version of Tetris. So it's ever. I love it. So yeah, that's my thing that happened in a game this year to me.
Is that update coming to PS4, the PS4 version, or?
I don't know. Tetris Effect Connected content.
Because I still have it. Tetris Effect is actually one of the few PS4 games I kept when I traded all my shit into EB Games.
This is from TetrisEffect.com. Will the connected multiplayer expansion come to PS4, Epic Games, or the Oculus Quest versions? Yes, we will release in summer of 2021.
All right, I'll wait. Well, I guess it's on Game Pass, but still, I'll wait.
Yeah, if you want to download it on your Series S and play with us, because it would be really cool to play with 3 humans. The AI would sometimes like mess up where they put it, and we would both get kind of frustrated. But it's awesome.
Right.
Steve. This
How
is
many
my
players
favorite.
is it up to?
Three players.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's 3 players versus 1 AI computer that's messing with you.
That's pretty sick.
Dude, it's like I was actually like giddy, which is like it just happened and I was like no way, and we were like we got so quickly into that flow of like lining up our next piece, like dropping it really fast. We'd fill up the whole screen. It just felt the best. Like that's what Tetris 99 did for me like 2 or 3 years ago, where I was like, oh, this is the best competitive feel for Tetris ever. Like when you're just doing a one-on-one score attack, it's like very clear, like closer to the end who's going to win or not. Like someone messes up and then the other person just plays till they mess up. In Tetris 99, it's like this is as to the wire and competitive as Tetris gets.
Yeah.
But I never played cooperative Tetris like this.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I have either. I never really got into Tetris 99. I didn't really... I haven't really got into any of their, like... Because they did a Super Mario one too, right?
Mario 35, and I don't like that one.
Yeah, but... I mean, this sounds awesome. Maybe I will download it. You're right. I don't think I have played like a Tetris co-op game before.
Like that, like it seems so obvious now that I've played it. Like, oh yeah, put all the screens together, play it once. But they did that, and in retrospect, everything's obvious. But it's so cool, and I love. If anyone wants to play Tetris Effect with us, Dragon Sullivan and I are going to play again. We need a third, and even if you've never played Tetris Effect before, even the single player is really good. The Tetris Effect, for those of you who don't know, is this psychology term for people who got really addicted to Tetris would see it as they fell asleep, and it would be like part of their dreams.
I actually felt like that. Like I forget what summer it was. It was a summer that I lived in once, like when I was in high school, and I had my old Game Boy and like that OG Tetris. And I think I was working like the night shift a lot, so a lot of my friends were working like during the day, so I didn't really like have much to do during the day, and I just played Tetris all the time. And I felt it, like I could see the pieces and stuff like that. Like I totally believed like that study or whatever, like because I feel like I lived it because I remember just like putting everything together and seeing that stuff in my dreams and whatnot.
I had that as a kid with Tetris. There was a Tetris Facebook game where you could send scores back and forth, and like as a kid playing that, I would have that as I went to sleep. And then I had it again with Grindstone. When I was like deep into Grindstone, like finishing that, like at the end of the night, I would lie down, close my eyes, and I would just see like paths and like red, blue, and green. I'm like, whoa. And like I would wake up and like, I dreamt about Grindstone last, like just moving my finger across the screen, creating the path in Grindstone.
Did you play The Witness?
I did. I wasn't a big fan.
You know how you like connect the thing, like there's always like a circle and then you kind of create a line or whatever. There's like a puzzles. Yeah, there was like a subreddit that like kind of found real world stuff like that, where it would like take some circle and some sign or something and then connect it to like a railing on a house or something like that, because it's all about the positioning in that game.
It's perspective.
Yeah.
It's cool. Tetris Effect is great. I recommend it. Still been playing some Cold War. It's great. Well, it's mechanically stripped away from all the context of the game. A very tight shooter. In the context of the game, it's disgusting, gross propaganda, and I would never buy it new. And
did you buy it? You bought it off Facebook, right?
Yeah. And if anyone wants to carry me through some more multiplayer trophies, I'm always open.
Do you know if you can cross-play Xbox One with PS5?
Yes.
Sick. So my sister-in-law reached out and asked like what game she should get my brother. So we were talking about that, and I was like, oh, I think I could actually like play with them.
Oh yeah, I played a game of Zombies. My friend Chris was on PS4, I was on PS5, my friend Sean was on PC, and my other friend was on Xbox Series X, and we were all playing.
Whoa,
like
crazy.
The future of gaming is amazing, Steve. The future is now. But yeah, Tetris Effect, my big highlight of the week, and I probably played something else. I should have written it down.
Didn't you play Canadian games? Come on.
I feel like I did. I played Apex. Played some Apex dailies.
That doesn't count. You play Apex every day.
I do. You got to get those dailies, and they retooled the Battle Pass now, but I probably still won't buy it. Yeah, you earn a lot more now, and they took out some challenges that were really tough. But
that's good.
Yeah. Anywho, that's it for what we've been playing, and that's it for this episode number 168 of the CanadianGameDevs.com podcast. once again, please check out our interview with Jean Leggett. I listened to it today while I was cleaning up the apartment, and it was a really great talk, and I appreciated her perspective on the Canadian game dev scene, especially in Toronto, that she feels has never really been open to her, and she's gotten more offers to give talks and workshops in Australia than she has in her own backyard, which is...
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that.
Come on, Toronto, sort yourself out. And we also talked a lot about her work trying to make game creation more accessible through the engine they're making with her and her husband. And it's funny too. I always listen back, and you're funny, I'm funny, Jean's funny. It's funny. And yeah, check that out. It's in the feed. Should be the last episode or thing in the feed before this one. And if you want to help us, like Jean and so many others do, you can support us over at patreon.com/CanadianGameDevs. Get Discord perks, 2-day early access to the podcast, game key giveaways, discounts for Canadian gaming events, the knowledge that you're helping us keep the lights on. And you back us at the highest tier, we'll plug you and your project, like Eric Beer, who you can go to thebotbook.com, the botbook.com to see their work. And Eric's also been in the Looking to Collab channel, connecting with people too. So check out Eric's work, and thank you for your support, Eric. And if you back us at the credited patron tier or higher, we'll put your name at the end every week, like these lovely folks. Thank you so much, Aaron McLeod, Canuck Play, David Winter, David Nagy, Eric Beer, Elizabeth Avery, Hanel, Jean Leggett, Jeff Shepstone, Jeffrey Canham, Graph Metal, Kai Hutchins, Nicholas A. Zorko, Nav from the Academy of Games, Pixelnuts_Alex, Wishlist Rocket Rumble, Sean Hayden, and Stacey H. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, drop us a review. It's really easy. I try to review every podcast I can, like Jean's, Grits, Girl. Oh, man, I messed it up. Grits. No. I'm going to do it. I have it right now on my phone.
I have it.
Like
I'm just
Jean's. Hold on. Games, Grit, and Gratitude.
Real Talk with Jean Leggett. Yeah.
Real Talk with Jean Leggett. Check that one out. And yeah, it's super easy. Just go down, you don't have to put a written review. You can just pick a star. And if you're not on Apple Podcasts, please send us your feedback any way you can at Canada Game Devs, contact CanadaGameDevs.com. Hop in our Discord, let us know. People hop in there and let us know when the volumes aren't right, and I always appreciate that. Good week, Steve. Good work.
Thank you.
People can
we should set up the game of the year stuff.
The polling.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 3 categories this year, and we're going to little peek behind the curtain for the folks listening. I think most anticipated game of 2021.
I like it.
Best Canadian game of 2020. I like some sort of best ongoing game category, because I think that was what The Long Dark essentially was last year. It was this continued development of that game's story over time that would have fit a best ongoing game better. And it could win both too, because that story pack did come out in the year. But I think now that we have games in this country like Apex, like Dauntless, like The Long Dark, I think a category of, best ongoing Canadian game project. What do you think? It would be a lot smaller. There's a lot less of those games because obviously it's harder to get a big hit like that. But I think it would fit that thing people like that I think was illustrated with The Long Dark's win last year.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, cool. If you have any suggestions for categories, obviously I wouldn't do more than like 5 probably, but let us know. But those will be 3 we're working on. I have a giant list on my notes on my desktop of all the games I could think of that we always include at the bottom. Please send your own, and I add that in as we go. It's a living list, Steve. And that'll be starting up this week. Maybe I'll do that this afternoon. I hooked up to a new computer, Steve. I'm recording on this nice, shiny new Alienware Aurora R11 that I found for a painfully on the seller's part discount on Marketplace.
Taking advantage of these Facebook people.
You know what? I was honest with them. I was like, they sent me the receipt too, and I was like, I understand if you can't do this, but this is how much I'll pay for this. And you know what, Steve? The everything is worth what the purchaser will pay for it. That's a common saying, and that's what I would pay for it. And they agreed. So I don't feel like I did anything untoward.
Looking online right now, PlayStation 5s on Facebook are going for $700 digital, $1,100, $1,150, $1,160. Damn.
Someone sold, and I don't know if this is true because it's Marketplace, but I was looking like right the week the Series X came out. Someone had scooped up like 3 Series X's and was like 2 left. And I don't know whether they were just saying that, but like I messaged them and I was like, they were asking for $1,250 for a Series X, which is essentially double what it is. Mm-hmm. And they were like, I got someone interested, and people just say that too to like get you to like buy it right away. And I was like, did you actually sell 2 today? And they were like, yep, people want the new Xbox. And I was like, huh, okay. I don't want it. I just was curious that you'd actually sold 2.
Yeah.
So the secondhand, I have someone who bought a used or like a scalped PS5, and it hurts me how much they paid for it.
Yeah, I saw a thing on Reddit where someone agreed to buy like a PS5 for $1,000 or $1,100 or something like that, and then but they they did all the chatting, and then they agreed to like meet up, and then when it came to like find each other or whatever, the dude was like, "No, I'm sitting at home, man. You're scum."
Wow.
I don't need your PS5.
That's awesome. Yeah, people. The city of Toronto, like public safety Twitter account was like, we are getting lots of reports of muggings over new game consoles. Please meet in a public space, bring a friend, meet in a well-populated area, because the Toronto police were getting a lot of calls about people getting mugged. Like someone would set up the meeting and just steal it.
Yeah. If you go to buy something this expensive and there's more of them than you should immediately just bounce.
Yes. Whenever I buy things in Halifax, I meet on Spring Garden in front of the Tims. Like, there is always like 30 people on each side of the street going each way, and I'm like, yes, okay.
Yeah, I do like a Tim Hortons. I haven't sold stuff like online in a while. Last thing I did actually was PSVR, and I met like in front of my mailboxes, so which like is a pretty heavy traffic area.
Be safe out there, everyone. Don't buy from scalpers. Like, just, it'll only get cheaper, there'll only be more exclusives, and they'll only get smaller with different revisions. I caution everyone against that.
Oh, the very second that a cheaper, or not even a smaller PS5 is announced, I'm copying that day one.
It's like, I hate
it. It's way too big. We bought a new entertainment system.
Yeah, you said it wouldn't even fit the old one you sent me a picture of.
It I have to it fits in once it's in and on the stand, but I can't so there's like a thing that comes down in the front, so I can't, with the stand on, I can't put it in. But what I can do is put the thing in without a stand and then somehow jiggle the stand while it's in the box. It's a process. It's not. I'm sure it's not set up correctly either, because that stand doesn't like clip on or anything like that. It just sort of
it just sits on it.
But we're getting a new thing on Monday.
Nice. All right, you can find us on Twitter at Canada Game Devs. Find Steve at Stephen L. Crane, Stephen L. Crane 8 on Instagram. Find me at Stephen Riley, but don't bother spelling it. Just look in the Canada Game Devs description on Twitter. We're both linked there. And thank you for listening and bearing with us through that little mid-kerfuffle. Happy my building didn't burn down.
Oh, I'm happy about that.
It would have been a bummer because I just got the new computer. I was just staring at the flames pouring out the window like, damn it.
And the new PS5 and the new TV. You've gotten a lot of new things.
I do Zip and tenant insurance or whatever, and in the electronics section, I put everything.
Oh, good call. A lot of people don't know about tenant insurance, but you should get it. You as in people.
You as in the listener. Viewer on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. I put up the interview there too. Anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great week. We'll be back with the big one, 169, next week.
Bye. My time is exact.
My time is 0.9 seconds behind. Not as bad.
Yeah.
Today's quote of the day is, hope is tomorrow's veneer over today's disappointment. Damn, that's kind of sad. That's not a very inspiring quote.
No, those quotes are awful.
Man, now I'm kind of sad.
I'm going to try to do the crossword.